So why is it so hard to slow down? It's like we know we're tired, we know we're stretched thin, we know we need to rest, but yet we still feel like we need to be doing something. We need to be productive. We need to be folding laundry. We need to be cleaning our house. We need to be working on our business. We need to be, finishing up work. We need to do all these other things, and we're just not allowing ourselves to rest. So why is it so hard? Why is it so hard to rest? And even if we are resting, we're picking up our phone and we're scrolling. So we're not really resting because we're getting those constant dopamine hits. So like, what is it? What is it that makes it so hard for us to really like detach from things and just truly rest, where it refuels our bodies, it refuels our souls, it reinvigorates our minds? Because, when we're busy and we're stretched thin, we're not thinking the best. We're not thinking clearly. We're not always doing things logically. And we're often making things harder for ourselves. So anyways, today in Cozy Notes, we are going to dive into this topic. So if you're new here, I'm Suan, and this is Cozy Notes, a space where we just kind of chat about slow living. And I'm so glad you're here. So grab a cuppa and let's get into it. So why do we resist slowing down? For one, it's our society. I mean, let's face it. In our society, rest is for the weak. We glorify busyness. We do not glorify rest. Rest is something that we have to earn. It's not something that we are required to have in some ways. I don't know. We kind of like lost this idea of rest. And I've been talking to my business coach about this, about rest and why it's so important in business. And she, brought up the idea of the Sabbath, which I know for those of you that are religious, like you're familiar with the Sabbath. If you're non-religious like I am, you may not be familiar with the Sabbath, or maybe you are familiar, but you just never practice it. And yeah, so we're going to get into more details about that. I'm getting off tangent right now, but in our society, we just really reward busyness. Like how productive you are is how we determine how good of a person you are based on your productivity, I guess. But that constant need to be productive and to achieve is really affecting us. It's affecting our health. It's affecting our relationships, affecting our mental health as well. It's not good. We need to learn how to rest. And slowness is like associated with laziness and falling behind and, not being good enough. And that's, it's okay. It's okay to rest. It's okay to take a break and be, have silence. Or just to like take a break and, refuel our bodies. It's like, it's okay. You're not lazy. You're not a horrible person for resting. I feel like because of the way we've been conditioned in our society, that when we do rest, we start feeling guilty and we start shaming ourselves for resting, telling ourselves that we're lazy, that we could be doing more, and then comparing ourselves with other people like online and seeing like all the things that they are accomplishing and doing, and then feeling ourselves like we're not doing enough. Which not saying that Beyonce has the same 24 hours in the day as you do, but like, yeah, she has a lot of help. Let me tell you, she has a lot of help. She's not doing everything on her own. I could guarantee that. So yeah, maybe we have the same amount of time, but she's got way more money and way more help than I do. That's for sure. So, screw you for telling me that I should be Beyonce level of productivity and success. It's like, yeah, you want to step in my shoes? So we also fear that rest is going to make us irrelevant or lazy or less valuable. And I'm here to tell you that no, you are valuable for being you. You don't have to do anything to become valuable. You are valuable as a human being. You are valuable as a life form here on Earth. Your place is here and you are good enough. And you don't have to be productive and achieving and, what's it for? What's it all for? In the end, we do all these things thinking that that's going to make our lives better, being more productive and achieving. But at what consequence? Everything that we do, every action that we take, there's a consequence, sometimes positive and sometimes negative. Maybe we're like totally go-getters in our business, or, at work, but then we're neglecting our family. We're not there for them. I mean, that's something that my husband is struggling right now because his work often takes him out of state. And right now he's like 3 states away. So it's not so easy for us as a family of 5 to go out there, or there's 4 of us plus the dog, so I guess it's 5, to go out there to visit him. Whereas last year he was working just 1 state away. So that was very easy for us to go visit him. But, for those of you that live out west, that, between state, it's long distances. We're talking 18, 20-hour, 24-hour drives here. We're not talking about, driving an hour and you've already driven through 3 states. So states are a little bit bigger where I'm from. And so he's like questioning, like he's been working so hard at his career and everyone at his workplace respects him. And, the reason why they call him out to all these different projects around the country is that because he gets the job done and he's very adaptable, etc. But he's missing out. He's missing out on the kids growing up. He's missing out, on life here. And sure, we FaceTime every day, but it's not the same as being present. That may be another podcast talking about the struggles with that. I relate with all the military moms out there, but I do feel like you guys have much more support than I do. I don't really have a big support group here. I know my military friends because we have a base nearby, and they have, they have a big group. They have like a mom group. They have homeschool groups. They have, babysitting, like kids can go to the pool or to the movies and the moms get like a break or whatever. Like they have support. Whereas here, I don't have that support. So anyways, future podcasts there. How to live a slow, intentional life when you're solo parenting. Another way that we resist slowing down is that we're constantly connected to our devices. Like, yes, I have my phone in my hand right here as I'm recording on a camera and a microphone. And it's like, yes, we're constantly connected. And we have to make like a conscious choice to put our phones down, to be disconnected. Like maybe put your phone down, but you got to watch. So you're still connected. You're still getting those alerts and stuff. You're still getting the little buzzes to letting you know that you have a phone call or a message or, you've met your goal with your steps or whatever it is. But yeah, it's just, we need to put our devices down and stop always being on. If you're resting and you're picking up your phone and you're scrolling, you're not really resting. Like maybe your body is resting, but your mind is like not resting at all because it's constantly getting those dopamine hits. Boom, 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 boom. Ping, 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 ping. I know that doing less makes me feel uncomfortable because I've been there. Being a mom, specifically being a stay-at-home mom, like you're staying at home. So technically you have nothing else to do. So therefore you should be doing all these extra things. Like you should be having play dates and having these like fun little, fruit plates with like little animals or something. And like, I don't know, it's just, you need to go above and beyond when you invite these other moms over and then they see your beautiful spread and the crafts that you have for the kids to do and the activities and everything. And I guess it's too much. And so, yeah, I was that person. I would do those things. I would have play dates at my house all the time. I would invite people over. I would host and be a really good hostess and have like food and drinks and crafts and stuff or toys for the kids to play and activities. And it got to the point where it was too much. I was tired. Like afterwards, I would be drained because I am an introvert. And so after having people over for, even if it's just a couple hours, it's like my day was done, but I still had my kids to take care of and to do things with. And so like I had to stop myself from being the constant host, basically. And it was hard because I felt guilty. Because I felt like it was expected of me to be the host. Like everyone was always used to coming to my house and doing things with us. And it was like, I wasn't inviting people over. So I know some people probably had feelings hurt, thinking that I didn't like them anymore or something. That's why I was inviting them. I don't know. But I just had to downsize how active I was as a stay-at-home mom. I had to downsize what we did at home. I had to downsize our play dates. It felt weird at first. Like I said, it felt weird because people felt like I was ignoring them or something. It felt weird because I felt like I wasn't doing enough and I wasn't providing enough. And especially, it felt weird because when you go on Instagram or something and you see all these other moms that you follow doing all these fun, cool things with their kids, or creating these fun, cool, like vegetable plates or whatever. I don't know. But anyways, it made you feel guilty. It made me feel guilty. It made me feel like I wasn't doing enough. And I didn't like that feeling. And so the things I had to do in order to actually rest and enjoy my life was to get off social media, spend limited time on social media for sure, and then lean into the things that brought me joy and that fueled me. Because to be honest, with my kids, they're fine. They're fine not having all those fancy play dates. They're fine not having a beautiful like rainbow vegetable and fruit plate. They're totally fine. No one is lacking. Don't need to take a picture and post it on Instagram. They're totally fine. And I just had to let go. And then once I did let go and started embracing rest, I realized that my kids needed rest too. My kids didn't like being on the go, go, go constantly. That was why they would have like, tantrums and stuff, because they were losing energy and they just were having enough. And so I've noticed that not only was I thriving, but my kids are thriving better too once we slowed down. And so it just gave us more clarity. Like I knew what I wanted. Like I still enjoy, meeting up with friends and doing things, but it's really basic. Like I'm not going over the top. I'm not, trying to one up my own self, because I wasn't trying to one up other people. I was just trying to one up myself, basically. Very self-competitive, I guess. And so once I started slowing down and doing less, like I knew that we still wanted to meet up with friends, but we weren't going to go overboard. We would just go to the park, and it was simple. Bring water. Good enough. Eat when we get home. We don't need to bring snacks to share. Or when we would invite friends over, like my house doesn't need to be perfect looking. The bathroom should be clean. The kitchen should be clean, because that's like the main place everyone hangs out in. But it's okay if all other rooms are kind of messy, because to be honest, when the kids get together, they're going to make a mess. And so I'm going to clean up again. So why clean twice? Just clean once, right? And didn't have to do anything fancy, because the kids would entertain themselves. It's not my job to entertain my kids or my friends' kids. The kids entertain themselves by playing and stuff. And I think that's something that we kind of lost sight in the past like 10, 15 years. It's like we feel like we need to become our kids' playmates, but no, we're not in charge of their fun. But yeah, so slowing down also gave me more peace, because we had more white space in our life. We had less things to do, more time to focus on the things that were important to us, like homeschooling and just resting and spending time in the garden and hanging out with each other as a family and not having other people involved, and just enjoying the ordinary, enjoying the ordinary, mundane life that we live. It doesn't always have to be exciting and fun. And if your kids are bored, that's okay. If you're bored, that's okay. Get a hobby. But it didn't happen overnight. So don't think like I pushed a button and then all of a sudden my life was slow and peaceful and happy. Like I still struggled. I still struggle to this day, where I feel like I'm not doing enough. So what happens in our lives when we don't pause, when we don't take a break, when we don't slow down, is that exhaustion creeps in. And I think something similar happened to me this past month, because I realized I felt super exhausted and I just couldn't figure out why. And it wasn't until I decided to take a duvet day, like a break, like a lay in bed kind of a day. Here in America, we call it like a lazy day, but in Europe, they call it a duvet day. So I'm going to go with the European way of calling it a duvet day, where I just laid in bed and I watched TV. I read books, put on a face mask. I didn't order food, but we just ate leftovers. So yeah, it was just a very lazy day. And it's what I needed, because after that, I didn't feel freaking exhausted like I did before. And so we need to rest. We need to rest. We need to rest. And we need to see the signs that we need to rest before our body, takes over and forces us to rest. So yeah, don't want burnout. We don't want our bodies to get sick. And then also, like, when we feel this need that we don't have time to pause, we keep doing all these things. And then when we get it done, we still feel unfulfilled. We feel like it's not enough, like we should be doing more, that we need even more. And we don't want life to feel like one endless to-do list where we never get anything. It never ends. We never feel accomplished. We don't want life to be like that, because sure, we always have stuff to do, and that's just part of life. But let's not overwhelm and exhaust ourselves and burn out because we're just constantly trying to catch up. Like, you are right where you need to be. You don't need to catch up. You're at where you need to be. It's okay. As I said before, it's a practice. It takes practice to pause, to slow down and not feel guilty about it. I would love it if you started today, just to take 5 minutes. You don't need to take an hour. It doesn't need to be, half your day. It doesn't need to be a whole day. But take 5 minutes where you pause, you slow down, you put your device down, put it somewhere else, and you just rest. You just rest. You're not watching TV. You're not listening to anything in your headphones. You're not on your device scrolling. And you just rest and just be present and be mindful. Like, you don't need to be meditating. I know meditation is not for everyone. Or if you're religious, you don't need to be praying. You just need to be sitting and just let everything come in. Do that. And if you can, maybe try practicing the Sabbath, like having a day of rest. Whether you're religious or not, you don't need to be religious, I think, to practice Sabbath. Like, I practice Sabbath, and it's like an integral part of my life where I don't do anything, nothing work related, just no work at all, just rest, I know for religious people, that's where they can, be one with God. But for me, it's just resting and being one with nature, or being one with my family, or just being one with myself, just resting and being present, and just noticing the details that we often miss when we're constantly connected and on our devices and doing everything on our to-do list, et cetera, et cetera. So if this resonated with you at all, then I have something special that's coming up on April 8th, which is the Cozy Life Retreat. It's a totally free event that I'm hosting. It will take place over 3 days, and there'll be some guided meditation if that's your thing. And there'll also be like an audio, deep dive where we talk about slow living and ways that you can start today. Also gentle journal prompts. And so anyways, it's like a really nice cozy retreat, and it's completely free. All you have to do is sign up for my Substack. So you can find that at suanclavecca.substack.com. Just sign up for the free version. You don't have to do paid, and you will get access to that. And I can't wait. It's going to be a nice, lovely, cozy retreat. So I hope you join us on April 8th. Sign up today. I have a lot of other stuff that I post on Substack that will help you continue your journey into living a cozy, slow, and intentional life. And I'm so glad you're here, and I will talk to you soon. Okay? Ciao. I gotta take my kids to jiu-jitsu.